It's November, which means Thanksgiving. Hopefully lots of food and family and friends coming to visit. What a great time to bust out some co-op games that nobody's ever heard of for some good family fun. Of course, if you're like me, you don't have any friends or family to play video games with, but you think, maybe I will someday. So it's good to have some co-op games in the queue for when that day comes. And much like Contra playing in the background here, these games are fun even in single player mode. So you can sneak off and enjoy them while your boring relatives are watching sports or talking about politics. We all know that there are few things more fun than a cooperative run and gun shooter. There have been a ton of amazing ones released in recent years. I have even done 2 full videos on them and still have a ton more to go. One incredible example of the genre that almost nobody ever talks about is Tanuki Justice. You play as these 2 adorable Tanukis in ninja outfits that have throwing stars instead of guns. As soon as you pick up the controller, you will immediately feel the similarity to Contra. Your adorable little ninja runs, jumps, double jumps, and can fire his shuriken in 8 directions. You can also hold the button to lock your aim in one direction as you run, or a different button to lock yourself in place to aim in 8 directions. He gets a little magic meter too. It fills up, and when it is full, you can unleash a mega shuriken to cut down hordes of enemies or deal massive damage to a boss. This is a pretty short game. Once you master it, a playthrough only takes you about 30 minutes or so, but the challenge level is just right. You likely won't beat the last 2 or 3 levels on your first playthrough, especially the last one, but once you get to know the level layouts, if you're a veteran at Contra, you'll be able to finish it. This is just a fantastic game, and one of the best run and guns out there. Its adorable aesthetic sets it apart, but the familiar gameplay will feel right at home to anyone who loves classic Contra, and is a perfect game to play with a friend. Who doesn't love Super Mario 3D World? It is such a fantastic game, and even better if you're playing co-op. The mini levels and precise platforming challenges make it a perfect game to just pick up and play with a group of friends. Which brings me to this game, Addams Family Mansion Mayhem. If you saw the box art in your local retail store, you might run. An Addams Family game and is produced by Outright Games? That's a lot of red flags, and you'll probably just assume this is the second coming of Fester's Quest and run away. But sometimes you can't judge a book by its cover. This is actually a really fun 3D platformer, done in a similar style to Super Mario 3D World, and offers 4-player co-op where you can play as each member of the family. Each character's control is more or less the same. They have a jump and an attack, and while the attacks look different, they all functionally operate the same way. However, there are a number of different gimmicks and items that you get within each level. So for example, in some levels you get this little octopus that shoots ink. It can be used to spray obstacles and enemies, and also kind of used like a hover pack, like Super Mario Sunshine. Another level you get a little spider web. This can be used to drag enemies around, but also as a grappling hook to reach out of the way areas as well as swing over pits. The gimmicks here were all really fun and added a nice variety to each level. As the game progresses, they use these gimmicks in more elaborate ways, and I always found it fun to see what they would do next. You also get 3 challenges to complete in each level. These range from the standard collect X number of coins to more varied objectives that you will have to explore a bit in order to complete. This game is just a good time. The level design is good, the gimmicks are fun, the controls are solid, and yeah, it's on the easy side, but that's okay, because the kind of game you want to play with friends or a younger one. I know the Outright Games logo is usually a cause to run away, but even LJN made a few fun games, and so did Outright. If you were looking for a fun 3D platformer in the style of Super Mario 3D World, give this game a shot. I think you'll have fun with it, and it's also pretty cheap, both physically and digitally, so you're not breaking the bank to try it. Cyber Citizen Shockman Zero is part of the Cyber Citizen Shockman collection released on Switch through limited run games, but you could buy it individually as well if you want. This is a really cool sprite-based platformer beat-em-up that never saw a release in the United States until now. There are 4 entries in this series. The first 3 were released on the PC Engine, which as I'm sure you are aware is a Japanese version of the TurboGrafx 16. This entry, which is the final game in the series, was released on the Super Famicom. This is an absolutely fantastic game that I would have loved as a kid. Control here is simple. You get a jump and an attack, and you can hold the attack button down to charge a projectile. Graphics here are awesome and have that beautiful sprite work that you would expect from a Super Nintendo game. Levels are a mix of platforming and fighting. The emphasis is more on fighting than platforming. There are 1 or 2 tricky sections towards the end of the game, and a few parts of dodging some tricky obstacles to progress, but mostly you're just punching things, and the combat's really satisfying. Every level ends in a boss. These are really fun to fight, with cool enemy design and patterns to learn. The game is definitely on the easier side. You get a life bar with 4 hits, but as you gain points your life bar extends, and enemies drop life power-ups pretty frequently. You have 3 credits, but I never died in my first playthrough. The game also offers some modern conveniences such as rewind and save states. This is a really fun game that would have been even more fun if I had a second player to play with. It takes about an hour to go through, but it's a good time. Definitely worth playing for retro fanatics that probably missed it since it never came to the US. Of course, you cannot have a list of cooperative games without including at least one beat 'em up, which brings me to Jitsu Squad. This is a really fun game that doesn't often get talked about, but it definitely should, as it does a lot of cool things that make it stand out from the crowd. Your characters and the enemies are all animals, but still fall into the standard beat 'em up archetypes. You know, you have the balanced character, the strong and slow one, and so on and so forth. But you get to play as 2 characters at once, and the game has a tag system, which is always fun in a beat 'em up. The combat here is great. As you progress the story mode, your characters level up and you unlock new moves. It has a robust combo system with a focus on timed button presses rather than button combination, but it works really well. Your character kind of sparkles to tell you when it's time to hit next button for more powerful and varied attacks. The special moves are all fun to use, and the combo system with juggles is pretty elaborate. You also get weapons that are used with a different button. Each comes with their own movesets and combos. Unlike most beat 'em ups, the weapons you get vary depending on the character you use. So when I found a weapon here, it was a little sword for the raccoon, where the bull gets a gun. Each of them feel totally different, and each character has a different arsenal to unlock, all of which are fun to use, but have limited ammo. There is also a big emphasis on countering and parrying. By timing a button press, you could parry the enemy attacks and then counter with one of your own. Repeated parrying increases the damage your next attack does, so the damage can add up quick, and skillful play can help you make short work of the enemies. This is an utterly fantastic game, and no, that is not a bad cow pun, it is just the truth, with amazing graphics and a super fun combo system. I will warn you, if you want to get the physical of this game, do not buy the US or European release. It is completely broken on cartridge and requires a patch to complete. I have heard that the Asian version is complete on card, so try to seek that one out instead if you are a physical collector. Earth Knight is a procedurally generated runner roguelite that has a 2-player cooperative feature. It's an interesting game and not really like anything else I've played. Dragons have taken over the Earth and are flying all over the atmosphere. You play as 2 people in a spaceship. You dive down from your spaceship and try to land on a dragon. Once you do, the level begins. Levels have you running along the backs of the dragons in order to get to its head, so you could kill it. There are all sorts of enemies and platforming challenges as you run along the giant beast's back. Every dragon is procedurally generated, so you'll have a new challenge every time you play. Also scattered on the dragon's back are treasure and monsters. Collecting the treasure on the back and killing the dragon allows you to unlock permanent upgrades, which could use on future runs. Your moveset starts simple enough, but as you unlock new upgrades, it opens up the game, allowing for more versatility in how you play and more fun. Each world has several challenges before you complete them. If you want to skip the world, you just have to dodge the dragons, as you're flying into the atmosphere with only 2 worlds being totally unskippable. Of course, if you do that, you'll miss out on loot and a lot of upgrades, so you're probably better off hunting down as many dragons as you could. Earth Knight is a really interesting game that offers a variety of unique gameplay features and fun gameplay that doesn't really play like anything else out there.